Finally into gameplay proper, and let's take a look at one thing that I don't think I'm ever going to do, so I might as well just show off as a mechanic. We can hang off of this branch, and because we have a one-handed weapon, we can actually fire it from the branch. It's weird. I don't know why you would need to do that ever. Also, I put that snake to sleep. It's in a little cage now. We can go to our backpack. And we can equip it. And we'll have some fun with that. Don't you worry. Oh yeah, also welcome to the best grass for like 10 or 15 years in any video game. It took a long time to catch up with the grass tech in this game. Look at this! This was on a PlayStation 2. Now granted, the game ran at 30 frames a second, which is what you're watching right now. This does run at 60, but I'm just streaming and recording at 30. It doesn't really make a difference, you know, from a viewer's perspective. I don't really feel, but yeah, all of this grass. Oh man, we got a lot of stuff we can do. There's a beehive there. Let's shoot it. Bees are coming out. We also got these big boys. We can't really tranquilize them. They're too large. We got some bug juice. Now that the bees have gone away, though, we can get ointment and our nest. Our nest scared stupid. Alright, let's try this. Oh, no, that's the suppressor. I thought there was grenades in this area, but I must be mistaken. Oh no. What a phony. He doesn't even remember where the grenades are. Gotta be careful, because those dudes can absolutely ruin your day. Yeah, I thought there were grenades here, but I guess not. Let's just be very careful and make our way through the swamp. Whoa, what was that? Looked like a giant dragonfly. I don't know. They're pretty cute. This is not actually a crocodile or an alligator. It's an Indian gavial. Which is a real thing. And it looks pretty much exactly like that. Which is kind of nuts. Our camo here, our olive drab camo, which is kind of the absence of camo, it's all muddy. You don't want that, though. You want to be sneaky. So let's change our uniform to Tiger Stripe, which is basically the best all-around overall camo. And you can see that cleans off your outfit, which is good. There's a lot of stuff we could interact with, a lot of little creatures here and there. I'm not going to go for, you know... Hey, what's up? Not going to try to capture everything. You do unlock something for doing that, though. Modern grass sometimes comes close to this. Yeah. Yeah, it does sometimes. Not always. Not gonna play Bomberman Act Zero, but we'll play Bomber Girl, yeah. Yep, always comes back to Bomber Girl here.
AK-47s and grenades.
Not quite 5.56ers and pineapples, but still a good line read.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law.
Yep, committing war crimes just by being there.
The CIA and the American government are involved.
I know what that's
like.
like.
The enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this
Gavial are pretty
mission
high
is
on
to
the looks
sneak
like a
through the
cartoon
jungle
animal
without
list,
being
yeah.
seen. The
Right up there with the
success of mission
capybara.
depends on how well you use your camouflage.
Where you see a depiction,
Change
you're
your
like, that can't be
camouflage by
accurate.
Selecting camouflage from the survival viewer.
Yep, the boss is
The
explaining
uniform
camouflage
option
to
lets
us,
you pick
but
your
well, we
uniform,
already kind of
while
looked
the
at that.
face option lets
The
you change your
camouflage
face paint. Choosing
mechanic in this
camouflage
game
that blends
is
in
like
with your
way
surroundings will
in-depth.
help you conceal yourself more effectively.
Got uniform, face
Also,
paint,
don't forget that anything that moves will
movement,
stand out in the
stance,
jungle.
all kinds
If
of
you
stuff
just
affect,
stand up and
affect
run
your
around like an
camouflage
idiot, you're bound to
greatly.
be spotted. But if you crawl
Like
instead,
a
you
lot.
should be able to sneak by without being
You can
noticed.
make yourself pretty much effectively invisible,
You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index.
depending on a variety of,
The camo index shows
you know,
how well your current
basically what
camouflage
she's
blends in
explaining
with
right
the
now.
surrounding
You want that
area.
number to be real high.
The
That's
higher
what
the
you want.
value, the harder you are to
See,
spot,
and it tells
vice
you,
versa.
oh, this will be like, see, look, now he's
The
85%
key is to make
invisible.
yourself one with nature.
So then, like, that
that in
dude
mind
who's
as
going to
you
walk
go
by
along,
can
okay?
barely see you. It's kind of a spoiler for that upcoming gameplay sequence, which is right here. And yeah, look, this is like level 1, and we're kind of already thrust into, oh yeah, there's just guards patrolling. It's kind of similar to the what was it called? The dock area of MGS1? But it's, I mean, it's big. It's a real level. It's not as safe as other games started us off as. Started us off with. So I'm going to try something here with this guy. I don't know how well it's going to work. But I think it's worth a shot. We've got our snake in hand. Don't misconstrue that. Oh. Well, we overshot it. It didn't work out too well. But what we can do is this.
No, wait.
Yeah, you shake those hips. So, this is the game that makes me into an absolute loot goblin, because if you hold up dudes, you can get a maximum of 4 items from them. Because holding up is the most effective means of dealing with an enemy. And the 4th item is always the best, always something pretty rare like Life Med. And we're just going to, what? Why did you not fall asleep? Is that not in your face, sir? You gonna... Huh? There we go. I wonder where that snake went. There he is. We'll try again with you, buddy. Try not to throw him too hard. We've just got these big manly muscles. Anyway, this is an area that I didn't know existed until very recently. It's a weird little side path that has, of all things, the SVD. Yeah, you can get it this early in the game. Who knew? Yes, my main focus is on attacks and movements, and the streets are dominated by pollution and mutants. So I'm not going to be using the SVD, least of all here, but I figure I might as well get it. Hey, look up here. We got our Fruit C. Alright, we've got a couple options. There's a man up there. We're just sneaking in our little hole here. The atmosphere of this game is really good. It's all just like nature sounds until you know, really bungle something. And then you get some really, really good music. I'm going to do what I can to avoid getting spotted, but I mean, hey, it's going to happen eventually. It will happen eventually. But I quite like all the nature sounds. We're at 75% camo, and he's looking away from us. So that's good. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Look at that.
Freeze.
Distracted him with the snake. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do in this game with the animals. I am a big fan. Oh man, I am such a big fan. It's a shame that these mechanics would never return. Ah, he gave us a girly magazine. Like I said, holding them up and getting the fourth item is almost always the best item. There's another guy around this corner. We're going to be careful. Try to hold him up as well. But yeah, that snake trick. Oh, that's a good one. Oh yeah, over there's a frog. That's Keraton. Shoot all 64. You get a prize. I'm not gonna do that. Alright, he's all the way up there, so we're free to come in here, get more ammo, and also I think we should be free to... two more guys. So we've got to be a little careful. Thermg. Good old Thermg. Oh?
What's wrong?
Deal with them both from a distance. Whoops. There we go. So, in MGS2, we had the coolant spray. The Keratons seem like they're there for the sickos, yeah. Yeah, some of them are really tricky to get. MGS2, we had the coolant spray to wake dudes up. We don't have that in this game. No, we just kick them a whole bunch.
Freeze. Please don't.
Yeah, there we go. Now, I believe if I do this... No, maybe... Oop. Maybe this button? No? I don't know how to interrogate this man. I don't know what button it is. So instead, I'm going to push him forward.
Freeze.
And yeah, you can restrain dudes, push them forward, and then immediately aim at them and tell them to freeze. That is a mechanic that, again, would disappear. It's still there in 4. I really like that it's there in 4, but, yeah.
Freeze.
Future games would get rid of that. Which is a shame, because I really like it. The big main addition to our hand-to-hand fighting, you know, I've been talking about doing our karate flips and stuff in prior games, but now we got CQC. That's why we don't do that big flashy kick. We do a cool little practical kick. There's a book. So, let's see. How do we do this? We look in first person. This is... Oh. There we go. This is something I could have done in MGS2 and I never did. You take someone hostage, and you can aim, sort of use them as a human shield. It just really never came up, but since this is the CQC game, I feel like it's kind of like, you know, the best point to show it off. You can also just wiggle the stick and choke them, that's what she said. And we can do this move, which is putting dudes to the side of us, very silently. And then you can hold them up. I love CQC so much. It is how I play the games. It is so cool. It has so much depth to it. They'll expand on it in some ways in the future, but also streamline it. I think this is probably the best overall. Even though it's a little... Well, no, I think I do like 4 streamlining the controls of it a little bit, but still. A lot you can do. Interrogating is L2, apparently. Thank you. I know they've changed the controls a couple times. I'll give that a shot with someone. I know triangle now is slitting the throat, and I want to avoid doing that. But what I want to do to this man is shoot that beehive. Welcome to Kevin McAllister's tactical espionage action. Look, those dudes run away, and then that dude's going to run away too. So that pretty much clears out this room for us. I called a room. It's outside. Another thing we can do here. You remember the hang drop catch? Well, it's back and better than ever. Whoa. Okay, well, maybe it's not better than ever because that was a little awkward, but hang drop catch down here. M16, we're not going to use it, but it's here. I've got to be a little careful here, though, because sometimes these dudes will come back out. After a while, okay, we're good. We're good. Previously, it was on L3. Yeah, that's why I got confused. I hit L3 initially, but they've had to change around the controls a little bit because the original MGS3 had a lot of pressure-sensitive controls that don't exist anymore. So I get a little bungled. I also want to select things with circle rather than X, because that's how the original game was. But you know.
I can't see Sokolov from here.
We adapt.
Pretty tight.
We live and we learn. We hang on the edge of tomorrow.
There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Something interesting. There's a secret codec call with the boss when you visit the next area and return to this one.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room
Interesting.
in the northeast section.
If I go back now or if I...
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov...
No, I would have to go
Sokolov.
back now, because when
You
I go
must
back
not be
later,
exposed to
there's
any
a
kind of
cutscene.
danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
I'll give that a shot, thank you.
There's more.
No, it's just...
I was going to do a
when you
little,
get to
a couple
Sokolov,
codec calls,
I want you to tell him something from me.
so this would be the good time,
That is.
best
Sorry
time to do
for
it.
being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
I mean, and hey, by this point in MGS2, we did not have anywhere near this amount of gameplay, so, you know, I think a couple codec calls is okay. First, let's call Paramedic, because I like talking to Paramedic.
I see you've captured a giant anaconda. The giant anaconda is believed to be the largest snake in the
She
world.
gives us
in terms
animal
of weight
trivia,
and
which is
diameter.
cool.
It's not poisonous, but its large size makes it
I
extremely
love animal
powerful.
trivia.
They say it even
She
eats
gives us different
crocodiles.
trivia when we
Its only
save.
natural predator is man
And snake.
and snake.
Got it. So how does it taste?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Glad I didn't disappoint you. So,
Well, the guide says it tastes all right.
good. I'll have to try some.
Ugh.
She hates it.
I see you caught yourself a reticulated python. The reticulated python is said to be the longest snake in the world. The biggest ones can grow up to 10 meters in length.
Boston,
Although they're not
Massachusetts.
poisonous, they're still very
That's where
dangerous. so be
Paramedic was
careful
born,
around them.
apparently.
They have a highly ferocious temperament and they can swallow whole, even large animals like deer and
Ew.
pigs. Their most distinguishing feature is the mesh pattern of their scales. This pattern acts as a highly effective natural camouflage. If you think there might be a reticulated python about, pay
She's
close
cool, but what
attention
does
to
she
your
think of Snake's
surroundings.
male living
Otherwise, you
space?
could get
Oh
bitten
my
before you
god.
even know it's there. It's a huge snake,
Ugh,
but you should be able
no.
to capture it alive
Not even
by
a
using a
poster.
tranquilizer gun.
Your walls were
I'll
as
bet if
barren
you
as your
capture
soul
one
and your
throw it
heart,
at an
Rockin'.
enemy, it'll give him a good scare.
Hey, look, she tells you right there.
Right.
You can
But how
toss
do
him
they
at an
taste?
enemy.
Huh?
Do they taste good?
It's a kind of
You're
funny
actually
thing with
going to
Metal
get
Gear
one.
Solid
Why
is,
would I be
like I
asking?
said, everyone who plays these games, it turns them into
What was
yeah, cannibal.
Nothing.
Doesn't
Let's
turn
see
them
what
into
the
a
guide
cannibal,
says. You're
hopefully.
in luck.
But it turns
says
him
they
into a
taste
bit of a
pretty good.
freak,
Good.
and that's the thing.
I can hardly wait.
These games, a lot of the little Easter eggs and gameplay tricks you can learn by just, you know,
I see you've got yourself a Baltic hornet's nest.
calling
Baltic
everyone at
hornets
every
have a
moment.
variety of
I
hornets that
like that
inhabit that
a lot.
area.
This game
The
has a
difference
much better
between them and
ratio of
other hornets
mandatory
is that they
codecs,
produce honey
but it
from
actually has
nests.
more codec calls than
Inside the
MGS2.
nests are
It's like
larvae,
8 hours of
pupa, and
codec
adults.
calls
You
alone.
can
We're
eat
not
them
going to do all of them.
In particular, the honey you find inside the nest is delicious and full of nutrients. It's easy to digest and helps pep you up when you're feeling tired. In short, it's the perfect survival food. Honey can also be used as a burn ointment.
Yep, so that's why it
When honey is
dropped the
applied
burn
to a
ointment
burn,
when
it
we shot
creates a
down the
protective
beehive.
coating over the
I
skin.
almost said the beehole.
When
That's
you
something
knock
else.
down a hornet's nest, a burn ointment will appear along with it, so don't forget to pick it up. Of course, the hornets aren't going to give up their nest without a fight. If you knock a nest down, a large swarm of hornets will come flying out, so be careful.
We'll be able to make use of that later.
I see you found some Russian oyster mushrooms. The Russian oyster mushroom is an edible variety that belongs to the shimeji family. It's known to be particularly rich in vitamin B1 and niacin. Apparently, it's usually found growing on tree stumps and hollow logs, so look there if you want to eat some. Looks like you found a galova.
Galova.
Yeah, it's a fruit
Galova.
that's found only in that region.
Some-
It's related
here
to
we
the
go.
jackfruit, which is commonly found in Southeast Asia.
Jackfruit, huh?
Yep, he's a cannibal.
Huh?
I didn't say anything.
No, I'm sure you.
I said, I'm sure you'd like it.
Oh.
She gets fed up with him
Galova
pretty
means
fast. I
head
love
in
it. And
Russian.
again, her performance
It's
is
probably
incredible.
called that
She's very
because the fruit
believable.
grows to about the size of a human head. It's supposedly pretty good to eat with a uniquely sweet flavor. The fruit itself is fairly large.
It's
so you can
interesting
make a
for
meal
all
out
of the
it.
talk of
Galovas
Rose
grow
allegedly
directly off the trunk
being
of the tree.
the
If
director's
you're running low
idea
on
of
stamina,
a
it might
realistic
be a good
woman.
idea to keep an eye on the
When
tree trunk.
no, most girls I've talked to are more like paramedic. They want to just give you weird facts and throw a snide insult at you every now and then. We'll do one more paramedic call,
That area is home to the Sunda whistling
and then we'll start
thrush.
calling the boss, and then call her in the
Sunda
prior
whistling
area.
thrush is a bird native to Java and Sumatra.
Again, I
It's
want to do
distinguished by its
several of the
large blue
calls
body
in this
and long
game,
beak.
and there's a lot,
It really stands
and there's
out
a
in the
lot of
forest. If you're aiming to catch one alive, use the tranquilizer.
you know,
gun.
pretty basic ones early
Got
on
it.
that you kind of have to get out of the way
How
first.
does it taste?
Yeah.
Your
I
soul's
don't
as
know.
barren and empty
You
as your
don't know.
stomach, Snake, cuz
The
to
guide
him,
doesn't
halfway
say.
swallowing, I
guess
gave you a
there's no
hole.
reason you couldn't eat them.
Unhinging my jaw like a
But
snake.
it's nice and plump, so I'm sure it'd make a hearty meal.
That's a good point.
Ugh.
I love how disgusted by it all she is. No response from the boss? How strange. Alright. Well, like you said, let's go back and see if we can get the rare codec call with the boss. Most girls I talk to are like paramedic. War crimes. Yeah, you know. No response. All right. We'll give it a shot. We'll keep going for a little bit. No response.
Boss?
Oh, was that it? That's interesting. I've never seen that before. That's cool. I'm curious what it'll do if we do it again. Yeah. That's interesting. Ah. Thank you for that. I did not know about that one. Ooh, there's a man there, so let's get out of here. Yeah. Game full of secrets, but let's save before we go and rescue Sokolov.
Saving the game, Snake?
You know it. New file.
Hey, Snake, you ever heard of Godzilla King of Monsters?
Hell yeah.
What is it?
It's a movie. You haven't seen it?
Nope.
It's about this monster called Godzilla who grows to an enormous size in a nuclear test and goes on a rampage in Tokyo.
Nuclear test, huh? Then the Marshall Islands must be crawling with giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Maybe that's why my pants have been so tight lately.
Snake, it's a movie, not a
I
report.
forgot he
on Los
said that.
Alamos.
I know. So then what happened?
Godzilla is immune to all weapons, and humanity has no way to stop the monster. Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon, but meanwhile, Godzilla is getting closer and closer to Tokyo, obliterating everything in its path. It was originally a Japanese movie, but they made an American version too. I recommend seeing the original Japanese one if you ever get the chance. It's mostly mindless fun.
Yeah, remember what I said about
Serious anti-nuke
paramedic
message as
being
well.
like most girls
Where
I've
can I see
talked
the
to? Yeah.
original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Check out Godzilla. It's really cool.
too
Anyway,
bad.
you should probably watch the original
Wait
Japanese
40
version. I
years,
mean,
you
you can
might be
watch
able
the
to
dub
see
if
it
you
in
want,
America,
but
2004 will be Godzilla's 50th birthday.
wow,
You think they're
that
still
far in the
making
future?
Godzilla movies
No
then?
way.
Of course. Everybody loves Godzilla.
You sure know a lot about movies.
I don't suppose you're the movie-watching type, are you?
Not really.
Okay, then I'll tell you everything I know. When the going gets tough, movies can save your life. It's always good to be able to look at things from a different perspective when you get in a jam. That's the magic of movies.
No kidding. Well, I guess it might at least make a nice distraction.
That's the spirit, Snake. Have a little fun.
So there you go. Paramedic is sort of our Mei Ling, but instead of proverbs, she talks about movies of the era, which I like that. It's really cool. We'll be calling her pretty frequently.